Well, first of all, the story has been massively misreported. So you have actual headlines saying that Hegseth gave the order for the second hit. That wasn't in the initial Washington Post article, which claimed that following, by hearsay, somebody claimed to have heard Hegseth say, we have to kill everybody. Therefore, the admiral gave the second hit. So I just want to clear that up. I think that's why Hegseth wrote the tweet, is to just correct the record. But what I don't understand is it is the Secretary of State's right to determine who is a terrorist and who isn't. The Secretary of State answers to the executive branch. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has determined that these boats are carrying terrorists, which makes the attacks on them legal.
If you've ever served in our great nation in whatever capacity, thank you so much for your service.
The White House has made it very clear. The orders that come from the Commander-in-Chief and the Secretary of War have been upheld as lawful. Suggesting otherwise creates confusion and weakens our national security.
For these senators and members of Congress to come forward and use their status as veterans to claim in some way that they are allowed to stand in the chain of command is treasonous.
This is an insult by all of these seditious Sikhs that took place in these videos.
Their seditious behavior should be dealt with, and 100% supported President Trump.
It's not ironic, though, that these are all Democrats that defy and despise the President of the United States, and they would love to see some form of uprising in this country to go against the president.
These senators should absolutely be investigated to the fullest extent of the law.
The seditious Sikhs don't care about illegal orders. They are trying to recruit the next wave of insurgents to attack President Trump.
And you've given no evidence what his illegal orders were?
As your brother in arms, I say, stand firm, honor the chain, protect what we have bled for. God bless our troops, and God bless President Trump for calling this out.
Why are they trying to pin a war crime on our president?
So you didn't see any survivors, to be clear, after that first strike?
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. It was exploded in fire and smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war. This is what you in the press don't understand. You sit in your air-conditioned offices or up on Capitol Hill and you nitpick and you plant fake stories in the Washington Post about kill everybody, phrases on anonymous sources not based in anything, not based in any truth at all. And then you want to throw out really irresponsible terms about American heroes, about the judgment that they made. I wrote a whole book on this topic because of what politicians and the press does to warfighters.
They sit in their nice, cozy offices and they judge people who are out there, boots on the ground, putting their life on a line for our country. The same thing that happened to the two National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C., who were shot by a terrorist who were brought in on a plane from Afghanistan. And now this happens. But Mark Kelly had an opportunity to clear up the air. I want y'all to see for yourselves that this dude was going off of mere speculation, him and the rest of the seditious Sikhs.
Based on who this president is and who the Secretary of Defense is, and specifically things that the president has said in the past and things he was...
All right, family, let's rap for a minute. All right, so it's a new season in my life, but that debt is still right there in the passenger seat, getting heavier every single month. Interest don't take holidays. Late fees don't send sympathy cards. And if we're keeping it all the way real, most of us between 35 and 60 are carrying something we never planned on. Six-figure stress we can't pray away or outwork alone. I know that midnight math, where you're moving money around just to keep the lights on. That's not living. That's surviving, fam. So when I bring something to this platform, especially to my 35 to 60 crowd, who done been through a few recessions, raised kids, buried parents, and still got to figure out retirement, it got to be legitimate. No games, no hype. That's PDS debt. These people have already pulled hundreds of thousands of grown folk, regular black, white, brown, country, city, church going, whoever, out of the same holes we looking at. And they ready to do it for you right now. Listen close. They don't check your credit score at the door. Zero minimum. You qualify because you tired and you ready. They sit down, look at your real numbers, your real bills, your real life, and build a plan that actually fits instead of some generic BS nonsense. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of 5-star reviews on Google. Perfect 5 on Trustpilot. That's not marketing. That's grown folks who finally slept good at night, leaving receipts. The best time to fix this was last year. The next best time is right now. While you got this video in front of you, if you're done carrying this by yourself, if you're ready to walk different in 2026, click that link under this video. It takes 60 seconds to see exactly how much they can put back in your pocket. No pressure, just grown folks options. All right, listen here, man. I was heavy in debt before I started doing YouTube. And then I started making a little bit of money, but my mindset didn't change. And what happened? I ended up going into debt again. I'm just going to tell you this right now. I use this and you should too. Don't wait another month. Change your story in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and the best option for you at pdsdebt.com/LFR. That's pdsdebt.com/LFR. One more time, that's pdsdebt.com/LFR.
Talking about doing in the future. Let me give you an example. 2016, he's talking about something on a debate stage that was clearly illegal. And he was reminded by Brett Baer from Fox News that that would be an illegal order. Military won't do that. You know what the president's response was to that? The military will not refuse my orders. Implying that even if they are illegal, they will not refuse them. He's also talked about shooting protesters in the legs. Then he's talking about deploying more troops to American cities and using those cities as training grounds. Do you know what that means? That means using the American people for the military to train on.
Shut the hell up.
And you've given no evidence what his illegal orders were?
Shut the hell up. I cannot believe that this brother he's high office. He's a senator. These people are, you ever heard the term, why even have enemies when you have friends like this, when you have people in your country like this, when you have senators like this? Why even have terrorists when you have people like this working against you? This dude is doing nothing but speculation. He went back to 2016. Come on, bro. That's just like every time somebody want to talk about our president being a convicted felon, they say, and he even talked about grabbing women by the vagina. When did he say that? He said that like ages ago. Literally ages ago. Come on, man. And he was in a damn locker room with other guys when he said it. Stuff that's said in the locker room is not supposed to come out the locker room. Just like whatever happens in Vegas, it's supposed to daggone stay in Vegas.
Well, first of all, the story has been massively misreported. So you have actual headlines saying that Hegseth gave the order for the second hit. That wasn't in the initial Washington Post article, which claimed that following, by hearsay, somebody claimed to have heard Hegseth say, we have to kill everybody. Therefore, the admiral gave the second hit. So I just want to clear that up. I think that's why Hegseth wrote the tweet, is to just correct the record. But what I don't understand is it is the Secretary of State's right to determine who is a terrorist and who isn't. The Secretary of State answers to the executive branch. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has determined that these boats are carrying terrorists, which makes the attacks on them legal. And the only question is whether that boat was disabled or whether it was destroyed. If it was destroyed, how are there still live people clinging to it? And if it was only disabled, let me just finish the point, then it was still a threat, meaning it was still a legitimate target. So I'm very confused. And by the way, I've spoken to a lot of veterans today who are also very confused by all of this bipartisan outrage. When working class Americans in those forgotten Rust Belt communities where you have high schools where 5 kids have overdosed and died, when they see him blowing up those boats, they feel like he sees their pain. They feel like somebody cares.
That's right. And it's only bipartisan outrage because people are easily manipulated. Let's call a spade a spade. People are easily manipulated. You tell someone that they need to hate the president because he's so mean and he's doing things that you didn't vote for. You mean to tell me that you're happy with this? Yes. If hundreds of thousands of people were being injured or killed by the drugs that were coming from other countries, yes, do what you got to do to make sure that they not get here again so that we can wash our hands with excuses. The last administration, they loved to have excuses. They wanted to clear up the border, but no one signed the border bill. Trump keep on calling all of his friends, telling them not to sign the border bill, so we can't do anything. Our hands are tied. Bull sugar honey iced tea. We already know what happens when we allow these individuals to come over to our country and do whatever the hell they want to do. They take over. They continue to install nothing but fear, drugs, turmoil, chaos, and we've seen it time and time again. And we're not talking about the most, but guess what? When you find out that 10% of any group is doing something salacious that's ruining everything for everyone else for the 90, you make sure you take care of that 10% immediately. And if you do not, then whatever happens is on you. Y'all let me know whatever y'all want me to know in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Now, if you are a business owner, artist, content creator, or coach, make sure you reach out to me so that I can teach you how to do this YouTube thing. Also, if you're trying to step up your circadian rhythm, you're trying to make sure that you get a hold of that bad boy, make sure you check out this Mito Blue. All right. You can find it inside of my link below in the descriptions, and make sure you put in LFR 20 so that you receive 20% off when you go to checkout. Love y'all. Hopefully your health increases when you check out this Mito Blue, and I will see y'all on the next video. We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have, trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing, we have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace.